Welcome to Math Unit 3. In this unit, we will take what you've already learned, both the dimensional analysis and all the conversion factors that you learned for the different systems, and now we're going to learn to convert between systems. Converting between systems is no more difficult than it was to convert within the system. You'll just have a few more conversion factors to learn, and you do need to know those conversion factors. But you're not going to learn all of them. If you look in your math book, there's quite a few in there. I have outlined the most used ones, the ones that are actually going to be the most applicable, and those are the ones that'll be on the next slide that I really need you to know, without a doubt, without hesitation. What you have to understand is there are a list of conversions that are very accurate, extremely accurate. And then there are a list of conversions that are kind of a little less accurate. I mean, they're going to get you in the ballpark, but it's not going to be completely the most accurate method. They have a little wiggle room. Obviously, if you have the opportunity, if you can choose between them, it might be better to use the more accurate ones, but even the ones that are not as accurate are still considered standard. So you can use them. It's still considered safe to use those conversion factors. In your math practice book for this week, it will be page 7 that you will be focusing on. Well, here they are. You've got a list of conversions that I consider more accurate or very accurate, and then you've got one that's kind of accurate-ish. It's still okay to use that. It's still considered safe. It's still the standard, but it's just not going to be quite as accurate as the ones on the left-hand side. So what are these? 1 teaspoon equals 5 milliliters. 1 tablespoon equals 15 milliliters. That makes sense because if you remember your household conversions, 3 teaspoons equaled a tablespoon. But now you're putting it in milliliters, and milliliters are more accurate. 1 ounce is 30 milliliters. Incidentally, 1 ounce is also 2 tablespoons, so that should make sense also. That's going to get you to 30 milliliters. The next one you're going to use a lot, so you may as well find a way to make this make sense for you. But 1 grain, so that millet grain that we learned about in the apothecary, 1 grain equals 60 milligrams. And you'll have people say all the time, well, you don't ever see grains anymore. Yeah, you do. It's not common. I'll be the first to say it. But for instance, my thyroid medication is dosed in grains, not milligrams. It's dosed in grains. So there are some outliers out there, and you still need to know that this stuff exists. So 1 grain equals 60 milligrams. And then the one I'd mentioned before, I told you about during the metric, just to kind of give you a heads up about it, but 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. And then your accurate-ish one is going to be that 15 grains equals 1 gram. Now that one's not quite as accurate, but what this means is anytime we're converting grains to grams, you've got 2 ways to get that done. And I will talk about that when we do our solutions. Here are some practice problems that will allow you to work on using your new conversions. I do want to bring your attention for a moment to the last question. That last question is going grams to grains. Anytime you're going grams to grains or grains to grams, you've got 2 options. You can use the accurate-ish conversion, which is 15 grains equals 1 gram. Totally fine to do that. Or you can choose to take grams and turn it into milligrams, and then use your milligrams to grains conversion, which is more accurate. Either way is acceptable. So you might even want to try to do that question both ways so you can see how it's done. But take a minute and stop the video and work all of those questions. This slide has some additional problems, about 7 of them, for you to continue to try working on your conversions, obviously practicing the math, but getting used to using and learning those new conversions.